Right, hello everybody and welcome to FRL's Super Sprint Sunday. We are now round 2 of this Sprint Series Championship, and along for the ride, as ever, is my good friend Retro Ghost. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, buddy. It's a favourite track of mine, Kyalami, round 2, season 15. Let's get it.
Absolutely, I love it. We've hopped, skipped and jumped all the way from Donington, down over France, Germany, Spain, all the way down the African continent to the very tip of the African continent. We are here in South Africa, Kyalami, and there's some funky corners around here we're going to try and butcher the names of and give you the best entertainment possible for your Sunday evening, because who needs Formula One when you've got Sprint Sunday action here to watch? We have a much bigger grid, we've got much more exciting drivers, so why would you be here? why would you be there instead of here?
Exactly, and at least the track limits are a bit more lenient around Kyalami than they are Kota, but hey ho.
Yeah. So we're picking up Moller here just in practice. We're coming towards the end of practice now. So Moller, who's going to be starting P3 in the practice, looking to take as a commanding a lead as he did in the first race, as he did in the first race onto this one. He's got a 20-minute sprint and a 40-minute sprint to try and retake again what was his last time out. But what we're going to do for these few remaining minutes of the practice is go through the championship standings as they finished. Obviously, a few penalties dished out last time round, so the standings as you saw them crossing the line last time out may not be how the standings currently reflect. So for the Pro Division, Moller heads on 30 points with Adam Sharp close behind him on 22. Morgan Grace in P3 on 21 points, followed by Gareth Harvey on 19 points. I'm going to try and pronounce that. Thaddeus Laker in P5, followed by Josh Clayton, then John Bonham in P7, both on 16 points. We've got Martin Kravick in P8 with 15 points. Then Luke Prentice with one DNF to his name in the last round in the second sprint with 11 points. Francesco Filomeno 10 points. Andrew Eden with 8, and then we have Din, Prentice and Gordon Brown all on 0 points, 12th, 13th and 14th respectively. We go to the silver tier now.
So just to mention on that, all you folks watching at home, all the pro drivers on the standings are the white box on the left hand side. So obviously all the drivers in the pro tier are the white boxes. So obviously there is no reason to let any driver past, there is no reason to do anything like that. There is an overall championship now, so any driver in a lower tier does not have to let a faster driver pass anymore. It's all on track, all bragging rights included.
I've just spotted, Retro, I've not seen this before in ACC, in any league, somebody driving the Nissan GT3. And that is S. Grafe from the silver tier, which we're just going to go through the standings of. So heading off that tier with 29 points with a second and a first in his tier last time out is Thomas Fitterer, followed by Lee Colpitts on 25 points with a win and a fourth place. Dan Naisbitt on 22 points in P3. Alexander Klugin on 21, not too far behind him. Richings on 20. Van der Voort in 6th with 19 points. Carlos the Jackal, let me know if I've pronounced that correctly, on 12 points. Antonis Kokomalakis with 12 points. Michael Milnix in P9 with 11 points. Javier Sierra, 10 points in P10. Chris Gedman, one of our admins, in P11 with 9 points, with Wouter Heymans and James Robertson and Samuel Grafe with 0 points at the bottom of the table. Now we go to the AM drivers. I'm going to pick out someone who's currently on track.
So just whilst that is being done with, say the silver drivers on track are the slightly greyed out box. So just to recap, the pros are the white boxes, the silvers are the slightly grey box, hence the silverish grey colour, And then you've got the AM tier are the red boxes for all you folks at home.
Thank you, Carlos, for the confirmation.
There's always one we get right and we just butcher the rest of them.
So, for the AM standings, which are the red boxes, as Retro has been kindly pointing out. So, in first place, we have Reinhard Surfontaine. Oh, God, I know I've got that one wrong already.
It's the fact you try to pronounce them with the accent that should go with it or not go with it.
Well, what I've learned is in trying to pronounce accents in the past that often you need the accent to pronounce it correctly. But then I get carried away and I overdo it. So I'm just getting Serpentine. I know I'm saying that one right. 26 points with a podium and a first place last time out. Seferino Gerbino with 25 points with 2 podiums last time out. Dazza Townsend with 23 points in P3. Paul Trotman with 19 points in P4. Lee Cablo with 15 points in P5. Joint with him is Jude SC in 6th place with 15 points. And again with 15 points is Francisco Rodriguez. And Jamie Thacker on 14 points in P8. Also tied with Michael Coppens on 14 points. And then our drivers at the bottom of the pack there with no points would be Martin Hoek, which seems to be strange that he has no points. He must have reset his car. So yeah, he's on no points, along with Simon Williams, Falk Grennerich, Nicholas Short, and Mr. Overtaker 99. Also on 0 points. Did notice Mr. Overtaker actually put in quite a decent time up there, for practice at least. Now there is an overall championship that we can go to.
I mean, I would say a joke about Mr. Overtaker, but he uses my same race number, and it's probably the only time my race number is going to see that high up the grid.
So the top 3 positions are all with the pro drivers. At 4th, yeah, all the way down to 4th is with the pro drivers. Then headed off with Thomas Fitterer for the silver, followed by Lee Colpitts in the silver again, and then we rejoin the pro with John Bonham, Serfontaine in P8, Harvey in the pro tier P9, and Gerbino, the highest of the AM tier drivers, in P10. So yes, so quite well condensed at the top there. Good bleeding in for the top 10 of the championship. But I've got a feeling a few drivers, Retro, as we just saw with who was it? Just read out is reset his points.
The name that we always get told off for butchering wrong, as we did last time, as you pronounce it as Hook.
Hook. So Hook is actually, now I've just seen, has actually got -2 points. Can only presume he got caught up in some sort of incident, which has cost him dearly.
Yeah, I believe some of the incidents, obviously from last week at Donington, stewards were very busy after both sprint races, so quite a few incidents. We saw Kravek sliding across the grass, backwards across track, taking Sharp with him. So unfortunately, hopefully no repeats of that this week, because I don't think his car insurance is going to cover another week of expenses.
No, there's some premium going on there.
That's it.
Oh, who was that? Somebody just piled off. There's a Bentley. Car 13, I believe that was. Who was that? They're very colourful. You can start to learn. Where'd he go? Just had it. They appear to have reset to the pits. But we are coming to the end of qualifying now, so all the drivers will start to get themselves a bit more comfy in the pits, so they can begin to set the qualifying fuel, make the last few tweaks to their setups before they head out there. And yeah, we've got 20 minutes of fast, high-octane action, followed by 40 minutes of high-octane action that you just simply do not get that much quick action, quickly sustained action in something like Formula 1, which some of you people who are not watching are probably off watching, but when you should be here, you know where you should be. Here with the FRL. FRL's got you sorted for more than just Formula One. We do race in the Formula One, but we also do ACC, we also do Assetto Corsa, iRacing, a bit of WRC, which Gedman or Brown that loves. They love that.
I think Kravak was practicing his WRC last week when he went across the grass, but I think it might be a bit too sore to throw jokes like that.
So, but yeah, FRL is the place to be for all things sim racing. They've got you covered pretty much every single night of the week. And if you really want to get involved, drop a message in the YouTube chat, and an admin will reach out to you to try and get you the details to enter the Discord. And if you're already in the Discord and looking to get more involved, and there are the series you can attend to, if you have the games, and you can also get super involved by signing up to the Patreon. Oh, it's dark.
Green light, go, go, go.
I hope the boys have paid their electric bill, because it's going to be a dark one for qualifying.
I'm just going to pick out who's come out on track first. So yeah,
Serpentine 215. There is no split qualifying in this Sprint Sunday Season 15. 3 tiers, no split qualifying, 20 minutes of 3 tiers, all going at it. As we found out last week, it was a driver that got caught out by a double bus stop in the last 2 corners, so hopefully none of that this week. It was, I think, Leica?
It was Leica, yeah.
It was Leica, yeah, that very pink car there.
So, as all the cars...
week, so hopefully no double bus stop round Kyalami. Very fast, technical track, so hopefully no parking on track. No M25, please.
So the cars, this time, instead of taking it slow around, they are absolutely pushing it to the limit to get out before they get caught up in any shenanigans. So a lot of cars still waiting in the pits.
Serpentine all the way out in front in first, but you've got Naisbitt practically pushing that Ferrari round in his McLaren.
So the Ferrari and the McLaren painted in similar liveries with the lights on. Serpentine doing his absolute best to get his tyres warmed up in these dark conditions. I do wonder how many drivers actually had the opportunity to maybe up their tyre pressures to get a bit more warmth in the tyres for this cold running. But Serpentine...
You'd be surprised though, it's still quite dark, but it's still quite warm though. 19 degrees and 19 degree track temp. It's still quite warm for a late night qualifying.
But as a track is currently labelled Optimum, Serpentine's going to hope for an optimum lap as he goes through the kink, which is the official turn 1. Flashes the cars ahead of him to get out of the way. He's going to come into Crowthorne. Hard left-hander, goes a little deep, but does cut it back. Kinks it through turn 3, goes through Juxki sweep, and tries to break in a straight line for the barbecue. Turn it around, run that curve in the exit if you dare. It's quite bumpy out there. And he's going to come round to Sunset. We're way past Sunset here. I believe that's the Lamborghini 76 following him round. Who is that that's pushing him? They've just come out of the pit. That's Fitterer who's chasing around. Oh, Serpentine takes quite a bump going through the S's. So he brakes heavy for Louis-Cop and back down the hill. Now, line is key through here, right? It doesn't feel it as you go through it, but making sure you get far over to this left-hand side to open up the crocodiles.
Yeah, it's a very tricky crocodile. So all the approach, using all the track you can, not to get caught out on the curb on the inside or the exit there, to get the car nailed for the next tight right-hander.
The Serpentine watching this car ahead of him, just far enough ahead not to affect his lap, but the first time we are going to get in this evening is Serpentine, and he puts in a respectable 1:44.2, but quickly beaten, slapped and beaten by Naisbitt. Trying to pick up cars coming through the final sector. We've got car number 8.
Speaking of cars there, we have Serpentine and D. Townsend, the exact same time, a 1:44.2.
I don't know what it is with FRL. They've got a habit of continuously doing this.
But I think I did see on a sim grid race that we did on Watkins Glen, there was a double fastest lap. They did exactly the same time. So it is possible.
Yeah, and I've just picked up the Jackal pulling off to the side. Oh, Thacker, sorry. And he has put in a time good enough for 10th.
So we do have Bonham, who is just rampaged up the top of the grid there with a 1:41.3.
Now, we could go by what he did in practice. He's got a lot more time to find still. He did a 1:40 in practice, which is absolutely incredible. Now, I pick up Fitterer, who was the one who was chasing Surf and Tin around before in the Lamborghini. Do you find this is one of the Lamborghini specialty tracks, so let's see what he can do. Lamborghini is second only to the Porsche in terms of traction, which this track does promote. But
So did just have Sharp set a lap, P2, so 1:41.6 there for Sharp. Quite a few cars coming across the line now. Car 77.
As just catch Fitterer, I think maybe invalidating that lap as he got a bit leery out of Cheetah. Let's see if this goes through. What can he do? No time set, invalidated. But where is Mola, who's not yet to set a lap? The man leading the championship in his Ferrari as he rounds the crocodiles, approaches Cheetah. Not many cars in the game can ride that curb as he gets absolutely on the limit with the curb, absolutely lined up to perfection. Uses all the track on the outside, almost questionable amount of curb on the outside. He drives towards the line, and where does he go? P1, of course. With a 1:41.2, which just edges Bonham out. So yeah, very tight to the top straight away.
We've got Cork Malakas just behind in the Porsche, P17 there. Car 500, I think that's Clayton, P4 there. Got car 37, Sharp coming back to the line now. Is he going to improve on his time? Needs quite a big jump to try catch Bonham.
It does make a big jump,
but not enough. Car 6, 7, 8 now. Prentice does jump up to P16. Car 134. G Brown up to P10 now. Car 777. Mr. Overtake.
Mr. Overtaker doing very well representing the AM tier here, mixing it with the big boys.
Car number 9. Townsend, I think, did make an improvement. Quite a few cars coming back to the line now, so he did drop a little bit. Car 104 now.
No, I'm just picking up Stacker again, Retro. He's just coming through Cheetah now. He's organised himself pretty well there. Now this final corner, like a few others on this track, will be the absolute Porsche's strength. There is no better car in this game I've found in terms of traction than the Porsche. Takes a very strange line back towards the pit wall. He still maintains that last position right now. I do wonder what's keeping him at bay. Coco Malakis rounded the final corner again, another Porsche driver. Heads towards the line. An improvement,
Clayton
yes.
just behind. Clayton does jump to P5.
All the drivers are chose very dark liveries.
I think we've got a car 884, Eden. Not quite. Car 37. I believe that was Sharp. Not an improvement. Car 134, Brown. Does improve. 13th to P8 there for G Brown.
Just picking up Jay Prentice coming towards the line in his Audi.
Oof! Mr. Overtaker, sorry there buddy, Mr. Overtaker in the AM class rockets to P1.
with a
First driver to get into the
140.8.
140.8 there.
Now, what can Moller say to that? He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him as he comes down the hill from turn 11. Maybe a bit of slipstream, but he's going to want that BMW out of his way. This definitely seems to have unsettled him just a little bit as he comes towards the Crocodiles. This is where it's going to hurt him now. I don't think he's got much. He doesn't want this here as a pace car. The BMW does go off. Oh my goodness! Now I do not believe that was a touch. I believe he lost it of his own steam. What can Moller do? He's got 4.5 tenths to gain.
Yes,
and he does. He
does.
beats it. Wow, 6 tenths out of the bag. What about Bonham, who was setting the pace in practice? He's coming to the middle sector now. He's heading through the S's and up to Lukop. Very settled, this McLaren around this track. And there's so many approaches for Lukop. Not so many for the exit, unless you're in the battle. But he elects to go quite wide, cut back, around the Beamer that was ahead of him. And then round the Crocodiles. Carried a lot of speed. That's fantastic driving from Bonham, but he does have 7 tenths to find. Will this be enough? He really doesn't want to overtake it in between him and his main rival, Moller.
Oh, big snap there on the exit.
He powers towards the line. What will that have cost him?
No improvement there.
No improvement or an invalid lap, we don't know.
There was a valid lap, just not quite where he wanted. He was just a little bit down in his time there.
So we've got Edam, who's done a very nice job in lighting up their car for us to spot them in the dark. Car number 8, currently in P13. He only needs a few attempts to get himself out of where he is. What can he do? No improvement yet. Car number 32. Where are you? That's
I'm not sure if
Filomeno.
this is a glitch, but so I thought there was a glitch for Xbox drivers, but we currently have Thacker on our point of view driving around with no lights on.
So Filomeno doesn't improve. He does have, yeah, he's not got his beams on, does he? How strange. This is going to be hard to spot.
I thought that was only a glitch for Xbox drivers, but no, Thacker is on PlayStation, so interesting to see.
So Grafe elects to go back into the pits. He'll have another shot at it, I'm sure. Car number 36 is still going around. Coppins, who's yet to set a lap. And here's red, white and blue BMW. Through the cheetah. I must say, Retro, it's the big cars that have really struggled with cheetah so far this evening.
Yeah, it's quite a nimble, light-footed corner, cheetah, like it always is, chasing down its prey. But unfortunately, the cheetah will catch the big boys out on the corner. Just that weight transfer, that slight camber and elevation in the corner does upset the big cars quite a lot.
I'm not in the lobby as a spectator, how strange.
Car quite number 8, we got Edem in P15, can he improve? No, he can't.
That's Thacker just crossing the line, 3 seconds down from the lead at the moment.
Surf and Tane
Does
just
improve by
behind
3
him.
tenths.
Does improve, but not enough.
Car 777, Mr. Overtaker. He's not got far to find Moller. He's less than 2 tenths down, but that's a very strange line through the final corner. He took extra track on entry.
Maybe you could probably get away with it in the Mustang.
And he... oh, that's a bit naughty. He's pulled into the line of the pit exit. Car number 34. Who are you? 34, that is Bonham. Going around Cheetah now. McLaren looks so settled through there. Retro, in your time racing around here, have you come across any cars that can consistently go over that bump?
It all depends on the setup there. Bonham P2 splits Mr. Overtaker and Moller apart.
Absolutely.
So it's all down to setup, buddy, whether your car can eat curbs for breakfast or has to be scared of them like the plague. Consistently nailing that right line all the time. It's a gamble, but can you do it for 20 minutes and then 40 minutes lap after lap?
Oh, as we catch G Brown having one hell of a snapper coming out the final turn. Goes in P10. No improvement. 215. Where to find you? That is Sir Fontaine coming around again. The man who was first one out. Can he bring himself up the grid? No improvement. The track is still showing us optimum, but we're not getting much in the way of improvement.
As it stands, quite interestingly, the top three, Mr. Overtaker has purple sector 1, Moller has purple sector 2, and Bonham has purple sector 3 there for anyone interested at home.
So just picking up Clayton in this very, very speedy Aston Martin. I think it's been a surprise to everybody really how fast in a straight line this Aston Martin has been.
Oh, I'm not sure whether that is allowed, but we just had a Lamborghini dive bomb Mr. Overtaker on the final corner of qualifying. He doesn't improve his lap, but he's now getting a nice cheeky slipstream into turn 2, as some people class the kink of turn 1 down the straight, just like Imola. Mr. Overtaker glued to the back of this Lamborghini. Oh, big snap from the Mustang there.
Yeah, sure, that's an invalid lap.
He got grilled on the barbecue and spat out like an unwanted wishbone.
That's good.
I thought that was quite good on the
it
fly,
was pretty
to be
good.
fair.
Oh, that was fantastic, Retro. Keep them coming, mate.
Speaking of fantastic, we've got Eden currently backwards at the hairpin there. Not quite the result he wants in qualifying. Currently P7 with a few tenths to catch. His buddy's just up in front.
Yeah, thankfully had a fair bit of space to not get rammed into. Got Cablo coming around the final corner in one of the big barges that have struggled so far this evening. Towards the line he goes. Will there be an improvement? Currently 2 seconds down. No improvement. Thank you everybody who has joined us so far. It's very much appreciated. We know there's other racing going on this evening, but you know you've done the right thing if you're here with us. Jabino towards the line. No improvement. Car number 34, which is our man Bonham in the McLaren.
Bonham.
I thought you were going to go into more of a Batman tune. Bonham.
That's exactly what I was going to go with.
Bonham.
And now we're going to get cancelled.
So Mr. Overtaker has finally shaken off the Lamborghini that was troubling him. He's still got that 2 tenths to find to Mola, who's not got quite as close to the time that Bonham achieved in free practice. But he seems relatively settled. It's probably about the only big barge at the moment that is really performing. The closest barge, as we would define it, would be the Bentley down in P12 with G Brown. So he's done a fantastic job to wrestle the Yank tank around the South African circuit. Incredible control. I mean, he's driving so nimbly around that hairpin. Fantastic work.
We've got Edem just crossing the line, P10 up to P7. A little bit of an improvement there. Great lap from him. Car 884 now, coming around the final corner. Eden. Doesn't quite improve.
Oh, as Overtaker, who looked to be on a solid lap there, pulls off the track, so maybe this is just an out lap. He's definitely backed out there.
Big traffic coming towards the timing line now. Car 34, Bonham, doesn't quite improve. He's got a nice bit of clean space now. 45 seconds left of this qualifying session. So now it's going to become make or break for some of these lads just to get that final lap in. You've got Mr. Overtaker just slightly behind Bonham as well. Not quite close enough to get a cheeky stream off him.
So yeah, we've got Gray following Clayton round.
With G Brown just coming towards the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. But he does get another chance at another lap.
It's absolutely crucial at this late stage. As much track time as you can.
As G Brown elects to test the safety barriers at the entrance of turn 2.
The Stacker once again takes a strange line over the line, heading towards the pit wall for some reason. But it does finally set a time.
Cole Pitts crossed the line there to finish his session. Currently P22. Korkamalakis P20. Checker flag wave for both those two boys. Car 884 sort of returns to pits. Eden. So now car 78 is now going to be our closest driver to cross the timing line.
Fitterer in the Lamborghini. Yeah, and into the final turn he goes. Great speed carried. Plant the foot. Goes from P17. No improvement. Car number 4. That's. Oh, I think Harvey's invalidated there. It's currently a second down. Is there improvement? No, there is not.
No. Car 77, Grafe in the pit lane.
6,
car
7.
6, 7, 8.
That's Prentice in the Audi with very twitchy steering there as he went round the crocodiles.
Oh, that's an invalidation.
Gone to. I mean, I know you often find the crocodiles sleeping in the sand, but that's taking it a bit of an extreme. Car number 7.
Got car Thacker trying to make use of this last bit of time down in P24.
Goes into
goes
Ingui.
all deep. That's it. Unfortunately, his lap is done and dusted.
So there you have it, everybody. That is your qualifying completed. After we've gone through these, we're going to go into a 20-minute sprint race. No need for fuel stops, pit stops, or tyre changes. You are free to go from the starting flag to the checkered flag with no impeding whatsoever. So, as we saw, Mola just edged out Bonham for that all-enthralling battle for pole and the championship, with Mr. Overtaker using your number retro to push as high up as possible, really detaching himself from his AM class in P3. Sharp in the podium position for the Pro Tier in P4. Naisbitt heading off as Silver Tier in P5. Clayton in P6, Eden, Prentice, Grace, Harvey and Brown in that big pro contingent. Then Grafe fair bit back from Naisbitt in P13, Serpentine way back from Mr. Overtake in P14, Haymans in the silver tier by Filomeno in pro, Fitterer in silver, Cablo in the AM, Jabino in AM, Kokomakis in the silver, Prentice in the new to test Audi, which I don't see very often around here, Colpit, the Jackal, and Amtir Thacker, Richings, who said hello in the comments, thank you for joining us, and Townsend, Williams, and Coppins, and Kravik, Hornveg, and Gedman, who either elected not to, got told not to, or are incapable of setting a lap.
But just for safety purposes and health and safety purposes, we hope that Richings didn't text and drive whilst he commented on the stream.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen some absolute.
As we've got Richings just commenting the stream again.
Yeah.
How is Mr. Overtaker up there? He ain't no amateur. Well, unfortunately, buddy, that's the class he's been assigned. Whether that's a technical error from the admin team, but yeah, that's unfortunately the tier he is in tonight. Whether he's a reserve or a full-time driver, we're not quite sure. It's round 2. We've only just seen him pop up on the list, so maybe he might get moved around. It's an error. So where should he be then, buddy?
I'm going to assume that his finishers will simply get transferred. Ooh, he did a pro-am stint.
Oh, was that a sandbag attempt?
He'll be moved into
Sandbag
pro.
attempt for a Mickey Mouse Cup? Ooh, beef.
But it has dried up, it's lightened up, and all the settings that you've just had for the rain that was just coming on will need...
I mean, you got to compare it, buddy. Industrial size sandbag or Bentley size sandbag. There's a bit of a difference, buddy. You got to be more specific.
The equivalent sandbag is to what they did in Dubai, building those islands for all the rich people.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he is in a Mustang, so it's just as size as the Bentley, to be fair.
So yeah, whilst we're waiting for everybody to adjust their setups for a dry, quick race, adding the fuel in, potentially taking some downforce off, and seeing off the weather, which was threatening at the moment at the end of that qualifying as we saw the wiper blades get going. So for those of you that are tuning in right now, do not go anywhere at the end of this sprint. We will be bringing you 40 minutes more action around Kyalami. So we've gone through the starting order. If you've got any predictions for the race, do let us know. If you think anybody's going to win it, bin it, spin it, wing it, ultimately enjoy it, then we want to hear from it. And guys, if you're sat watching the stream, do make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, share it with your family, share it with the people you hate, because you know what? If you really detest the stream, why not share it? I mean, you can share it all around. Just make sure that FRL is out there for everybody to see, because we intend to bring the entertainment, whether it's good or bad.
It's like those videos on YouTube years ago, like 10-hour compilations of just us talking for 10 hours straight like a torture video. Send it to everyone. We want everyone to hear our beautiful voices everywhere to get you guys covered for anything racing, wheel related. We've all got you covered. Anything motorsport. WRC, as we said, Kravak found out the hard way in Donington last week. G Brown loves a bit of WRC, F1, ACC, GT7, you name it, we do it. Get subscribed, get signed up, and say to Patreon, don't forget it starts as little as £3 a month. Reserve your famous race number because it's your special day or your special number for some significant reason. Get it saved, get it signed, join up, you get all the early access, all the juicy details, special server access as well for special events or special practice or anything like that. To say 30 seconds left before we do get underway for formation lap.
Absolutely. So yeah, well looking forward to this one. Kyalami does always bring really good hard racing. Setup changes can make a huge difference around here. Whilst there's so much of the track is very technical, we've got long straights at the start and middle of the circuit, so you can really pull time back in both of those areas. And we are going to do a full formation lap if you're not familiar with the running of ACC. So off goes Mauler as he drags the cars away. We do have 31 starters this evening, which is fantastic to see. That's why it's called the Mega Grid.
So speaking of Mega Grid, we don't see our man, Mr. Mike Tyson, on the grid tonight. Maybe he thought the South African Marshals were a bit too tough for him, so he thought he'd sit this one out.
Or he's been in and got deported for his previous actions. South Africans saw him coming.
Bit on the line there, buddy.
So yeah, Moller Just dragging the cars around, no need to rush, no need to overheat the tyres. The track is back optimum again, but despite now being the middle of the day, we are still looking at 19 degrees track and air temperature.
So likely to see the same result as well, because oh, actually no, tell a lie. Depending on how the race 2 time's set up, it's currently 12 PM, so just a couple of hours, whether there's going to be any difference or any spiciness in the weather changes. We saw some of the free practice, some of the wipers going mad.
Absolutely, obviously a country that's so close to the coast. Obviously,
Hey.
weather is obviously high potential for change. Right, so main overtaking opportunities as we go around this track into turn 2, the Crowthorne. You can obviously send it into barbecue as well. Entry into the clubhouse as well. So there's so many different places to overtake.
If you're really brave, I think some of these pro drivers might tempt it. Is say the mine shaft, that left-hander, the right-hander up the hill just before the hairpin. I've seen a few drivers tempt it before, so especially now you've got the mega grid, 3 tiers, no reason to move across for the overall championship, so no lower tier driver has to move out the way for a faster tier. It is all on track, all bragging rights, all punching rights is all left on the track.
So yeah, potential for incidents as well. Through Cheetah, too wide through there, use every chance you can clip the curb and really send yourself or your opponent flying if not correctly intended to. Now, crucially, Pole is on the dirty side of the track. About the only person that was setting rubber down out there was Thacker early on. But we had rain suspension washed away. But Mola is about to get going as soon as he gets the green lights, which is now. He heads down towards turn 1. Oh, but we've already got a car going sideways in the back. Mola comes over to defend Bonham and then has to cut across.
Right there.
Yeah, Mr. Overtaker not happy, already flashing him down. We seem to get away cleanly in the first one.
Clayton and Heyman's there, slow off the mark.
The Mola looks like he's done very well to get a clean getaway here. We'll just wait for the timing screens to correct themselves. That's Clayton returned to the pits. So these are crucial corners for Mola. Just got to maximise his exits. Do not let Bonham get slipped at the inside, because it'll be a massively different race if he can't get himself settled in, which is how he so dominantly won the 2 races at Donington last week. Bonham is sticking with him. If they dive up the hill into Lucock.
Did just see the Jackal lose the rear there, whether it's contact or own accord. So the Jackal just lost it in the mine shaft.
Go back to M. Grace, who's diving it down into the crocodiles.
Oh, someone spun it facing the wrong way.
Too wide into Cheetah. That sends Naisbitt wide, but Naisbitt's still there. Can he dive it back to the inside? Naisbitt thinks about it, cuts back.
Edem doing a bit of WRC across the grass there. Towards the back, got car 84 as well, been involved somewhere. Cablow.
Sorry, Retro, we've got Eden, who's eyeing up Naisbitt, who didn't have the best exit out of the final corner. Has a little look, Naisbitt cuts across him. And now he goes back to try and chase down M. Grace. And we pick up Townsend further back in the McLaren with timing screens are still sorting themselves out. We apologise, guys.
A little bit of a tap there from Filomeno on Thacker. Oh no, both
That's 2
got
points
roasted
in the wall.
in the barbecue.
And there's have to wait for everybody to go by. It's clear now, but I'm sure we'll see that in the steward's room. You don't just get to crash into admins. Oh, Bonham has got almost alongside Muller there. Muller went super deep at Lukop. And Bonham's got one hell of a drive, but Muller, taking the wider line, has capitalised on the exit. So as unoptimal as it was to give Bonham the slip up the inside, he has managed to drive away well. But Bonham definitely looking like the more confident of the two as they go through this second lap.
Just slightly behind, we've got Naisbit all over the back of Grace there in the Crocodile. Then Grace just get a slightly better drive out the Cheetah there, just to pull a little bit of a breathing space from Naisbit. And we do have Eden just hot on the hills as well.
Oh, but he goes wide. He'll recover from that okay, but he's lost ground. Just picked up Kukumlakis on the back of Colpitts, but I don't think he's going to beat that BMW in a straight line unless he's got a really, really good exit. No, it looks like Colpitts just pulling away. Picked up Serfontaine. The camera sorts itself out. I think he has passed Urbino, and now he's gone up the inside of Gordon Brown, who slipped off onto the grass out of Barbecue. And now he's also lost out to Fitterer as well.
Brave is out of place there, unfortunately running with some of the front runners there. See a few blue flags there in the mine shaft at the minute. But Eden not letting go of Naisbit. He doesn't have to yield even though he's in a lower tier.
Yeah, great work. Oh, further ahead, we've got Grace eyeing up. No, that's the Nissan, who I believe has got blue flags. Yeah.
Eden nearly ran into the back of Naisbit there in the Crocodile, bit off more than he could chew on the braking.
So I hope we don't see anybody doing death rolls in the Crocodile today. Picked up Kravek.
Big dive from Filomeno there on Mornweg around the outside, just about keeps it on track. Oh, Mornweg looks to switch to the inside. Nice little battle towards the back in the Crocodile. Mornweg does get a better drive, but the BMW does fend him off now into Cheetah. McLaren doesn't quite like the curbs, but both equally just as planted there.
Up the grid, we've got Prentice in the Audi eyeing up Jabino, who's been desperately trying to chase down Brown, but now having dropped out of a slipstream, starting to really struggle just in dirty air. I apologise, that is Fitterer, different Lamborghini.
So just in front you've got G Brown all over the back of Serfontaine.
Oh, as I just see Prentice. Oh, has a big snap but regains it well. Doesn't lose too much time. G Brown throwing it on the tight line. It's not always optimal there. The tight line can look imposing, but you can be fairly, if you're confident with your drive, you can get away. And G Brown throws one into Crocodile.
We got Gedman and someone else off the track there at the hairpin. Oh, Gedman coming across the track. Oh no, that's naughty. So Kravek and Gedman both off track there, and another driver. There was D Jackal involved in that. Gedman came across track, parked in the middle of the track. D Jackal couldn't do anything about that. Unfortunately, did hit him. I don't think he sustained too much damage, but still unfortunate for D Jackal there.
Yeah. The Jackal looking quite beat up there.
And Gedman's gone again with another car. Kravek once again, 248. Not quite sure what these boys are doing, but Gedman's testing out WRC on ACC there.
And G Brown has just got past Serfontaine. Serfontaine, who's now under pressure. from the Lamborghini behind of Fitterer, who's even under even more pressure from Prentice. As they go into the clubhouse, they're almost nose to tail. Audi trying to use its rings to lasso the bull and the prancing horse.
So the bull might have some backup. There's another Lamborghini just behind. There's a big train there.
Yeah, huge train, all headed off by Sir Fontaine. He's got a lot of pressure coming his way. Here comes the move from Fitterer. Camera's catching up. That's how fast our FRL drivers are, guys. The camera just simply cannot keep up. You know, all very respectful so far at the top of the grid. And Bonham is very much staying in touch with Moller here as we approach the halfway stage in the 20-minute sprint.
I would like to admit though that gap has come down. The last time I checked the gap it was 1.5. He's now just crept under a second. So it's a very nice improvement there. Bonham with the fastest lap at a 140.5. So faster than he went in qualifying. So he's definitely got some pace to prove and burn clearly in this race.
Yeah, Moller just doesn't quite look as comfortable as he has been in previous rounds. Let's not forget Mr. Overtaker.
The fastest lap from Moller is a 40.7.
Oh, sorry, Retro. I'm just going to nip to Prentice, who was looked for a move on Naisbitt in the clubhouse. Another super close. We've got the GTR behind, trying to get out of the way again.
Well, we've got Prentice on a move.
Oh my goodness!
Outside.
Massively over the curb, goes to the outside of the hairpin. Can he make the traction work? Naisbitt does give him the space, but now the traction comes back. All the other drivers have defended on the outside of the hairpin, but now Prentice is trying to do it in the case of attack as they come flying towards Crocodile. Looks like Prentice does come back. He's got the inside line. He dives it, squeezes into the curb, and gets ahead. Wow, what a long thought-out move for Prentice on Naisbitt.
But no, he's got to be smart. He's got Harvey right behind. He's got to compose himself now.
And we know how fast this Aston is. Just super slippy. Here he comes. He's trying to force him to the inside to defend. And the Aston does show his nose to the inside. Naisbitt comes across the cover. Oh, that's late, but brave. But will it compromise on the exit? Doesn't seem so. But we're going to have to go back up to the lead because now Bonham is down to just half a second. Game on.
Oh, big snap there. Commentator's curse there. That's going to hurt him a little bit. Just saw the rear step out a little bit there. I think he just touched the curb or touched the grass there for Bonham.
As he come up towards the hairpin. There's a double hairpin.
You've got Colpitts behind Jabinho now. Very close there, this train. Just looking at all the timings. Williams trying to chase down Cablo. Very tight timing there.
Sir Fontaine doing very well to defend these positions. The main one he's concerned about in this train is Jabinho. Obviously, I think P2, although P1 is way out of reach, but he can definitely protect P3 if he just keeps these cars in between him and Jabinho. Fitterer just behind, looking to take a tyre line on.
With a bit of a unfortunate connection there, so Fitterer did disappear then. I thought he just completely disconnected, but no, he just popped back up on the screen there, so he is still here.
Oh, so we're going to go to Harvey Retro, who has just overtaken Naisbitt, but Naisbitt is coming back. Naisbitt goes to the outside. Harvey just covers the inside.
Pit lane there.
As long as the game allows it, we allow it.
Ooh,
and now, yeah, Harvey through.
We know this game's ACC, right?
Around the barbecue.
G Brown is now catching up to the back of Naisbit now.
Yeah, he's got that GTR just behind him that's just going to slow down the progress of Serpentine, who's pushing quite hard behind as well.
Oh, we've got more just diving out of the way of a couple of cars there.
So all the time we're checking on that gap for P1. It stayed pretty much at a second the entire race. Now what can the Bentley barge do? Straight line speed hasn't been the forte of that McLaren. So the Bentley is right there behind him as he comes to braking zone.
Ooh, Prentice. A bit too much speed in the cheetah there. Does manage to bound himself back on the track without hitting the wall there.
So this is the real test. With Brown just behind Naisbit. It's very, very close. It's within half a second. I did see a Ferrari up ahead. Just come in and go out and come back in. But here comes the speed of Brown. Doesn't trust his brakes and the turning to get it done. Naisbit goes a little deep, but not so bad. He gets his traction done. But Bonham so close now. He's only within a couple of car lengths of Muller.
Oh, Muller took a big bump in the mine shaft there. That's going to hurt him. Bonham's now catching massively into the hairpin.
So into Lukop. So now it's down into the mine shaft. So around the little kink of the mine shaft. Will anybody decide to snap before the crocodile? No, very respectful racing, but this is as close as Bonham's been pretty much since the start of the race. Under half a second. Trusting it to get very dicey as it comes towards the end.
Oh, Muller's gone off at Cheetah. Touched a few wheels on the gravel trap there.
How quickly can he recompose himself? Exactly the sort of opportunities that Bonham's been waiting for.
So the pressure is mounting. Just under 5 minutes left of this race.
I'll just nip back to G Harvey, who's underneath 3/10 apprentice ahead in the Ferrari. He's lined up this move well. Super smooth out the final corner. We believe the Aston does have the Ferrari beat for straight line speed. He's in the slipstream. He's trying to coax Prentice. If anything inside, there he goes. Oh, it's what a huge switch and dive into Crawthorne. But it looks like Prentice is still there. Takes it wide. Oh, he's glitching ahead of him. That must be unnerving.
So we do have G Brown still in front of Naisbit now. So Serpentine is past the GTR now, but they now have to move under blue flags. Fitterer does get past. Prentice just a little bit way behind now.
I think Muller, the setup has saved him here, you know, Retro. I think he's just set himself up with just enough straight line speed to keep Bonham at bay, and I think that might be what's paying dividends.
Sure, buddy. He's there. He's letting himself known that he's still there. I think the pressure's getting to Muller slightly.
I mean, this has been a huge undertaking from Bonham to keep the pressure on literally from the green flag. Muller putting absolutely everything into this. But time building as the straights come, so I've got to back myself. I do believe Muller has got the slightly slippier setup on.
The timings that the lads have been doing between the two has slightly come down a little bit compared to what it was. They're now down to 141s compared to the normal practice time, what they were doing in 140s. So maybe Muller is holding up Bonham. Who knows?
I've just nipped right at the back to pick up Mornweg, who's eyeing up a move on Filomeno as they enter towards the crocodile. But it looks like Filomeno, for the time being at least, does have that just enough margin. But it does look like Filomeno has been very much in the wars in that BMW. Mormeg very much misses Cheetah and carries on.
I think the make or break difference is quite literally watching Bonham and Moller into the hairpin. Bonham's a lot more braver on the brakes than the Ferrari. So I think that's where he's just catching him ever so slightly every corner, just being a little bit better on the brakes there. Now into Cheetah, once again closing the gap, but Moller getting a great drive out there.
Yeah, both having just a little bit of a touch of the Cheetah corner as they come round. Moller's definitely the one taking more exit curb out of the final turn. So here we go. This is the final lap. The battle for the lead has been close throughout. Barely a second has been broken in this fight. Does Moller put the hammer down? Does he have anything left? Does go quite deep there, but traction's out well. Bonham staying calm, tight. But it does look, to me at least, that his setup is just letting him down in the straight line. But what can he do in the twisting sections of this track, which is now? What can he do to close in? What risks can he take on Moller to get him inside about 3/10 and an opportunity to make a dive? Oh, as Moller has turned it. Moller's checked out. He's round, he's not in the wall, but he has to get going again. And that has allowed Mr. Overtaker through. Moller has bailed it. And now he's got Sharp close on his tail. Will he drop even just off the podium?
That's unfortunate there, but they did just miss a great move, just slightly behind into turn 2. The Aston Martin tried an absolute dive into turn 2, but late on the brakes, went wide, ceded the position from a switchback. Great driving there from the lads.
So yeah, we're just going to see Bonham through these final few turns. What a job he's put in to win this one. The unrelenting pressure that he put on Moller, barely breaking outside of a second, keeping about half a second to 7/10 the majority of this lap. What a race he has driven. He goes green. He went from green to gold, crosses the line for the race 1 win around Kyalami, followed by Mr. Overtaker. Moller will just see off. Sharp comes in P4. Grace, quite a lonely one back there in P5, but I'm sure he won't mind. We've got Eden in his Bumblebee McLaren with a bit of a margin as well. Comes home in P6. We've got Prentice, who's having to fire towards the line and hold off G. Harvey. Doesn't get it done, does Harvey. But they lead Brown, who leads Naisbit, who's done very well to hold off those positions. Sir Fontaine does just manage to keep his closest rival behind Jobino. And I think if it's an error that's been made, that may get treated now as a class win for Sir Fontaine if Mr. Overtaker is going to get moved. And the podium for that Townsend would be 3rd then, if we're sticking with that mantra. Coppins brings it to the line. We've got fairly reasonable gaps. There's a car behind of Filomeno has just lost it out of Cheetah. He's going to have to turn this car around.
Oh, he's got Thacker coming. Thacker says thank you very much.
A disaster there for Filomeno. Must have given up about 5 or 6 positions there at the end. And there you have it with that. Is race 1. Do not go anywhere. Race 2 is coming for double the action, 40 minutes around this lovely circuit you've just seen all this action from. So we went through them already, but there you are. If you need to see them again. Oh, I did not see Moller giving that one up at the end. He just lost it out of Clubhouse. I'm not sure if he took too much curb, took too much speed, but it's clear to see that Moller was not just calmly just keeping Bonham behind. He was pushing. But Mr. Overtaker, if he is in fact getting moved up to the Pro tier, no, he can consider that P2 in class. with Moller then coming home with a P3 in class. Your class leaders there then are Naisbit in silver, Fitterer and Colpitts. Thank you, Dazza, for that. Mr. Townsend, I believe. Yep. Pick that one out. And Surf and Tame with a class win in AM, if we are running with the mantra that Mr. Overtaker is meant to be in Pro.
We're just looking back at Moller now, just to quickly... Not quite, I think he just lost it under braking, buddy. I think he didn't quite touch the grass. I think just looking at Moller on the replay, I think he does just lose it slightly under braking.
So if we do have the time for it, we can go to the replay in the stream. Back one. There we go. So for anybody that was intrigued, this, yeah, just dipped on the grass. So we just slow it down. We're just going to see, I believe, the right front of Moller, no, left rear, just dipping onto the grass. And that little touch is all that was needed. And round he went. So yeah, such a shame for Moller there. But in a moment we are going to switch over to reset the grid. Moller back on pole. Mr. Overtaker back in P3. A lot of drivers, I think, actually ended up finishing quite close to where they started. Naisbit did suffer though; he did fall back reasonably far. But yeah, Retro, fantastic race. I'm hoping for more of the same. Plenty of battles.
Definitely, buddy. Say Kyalami, fast-paced, great action, double the time, race 2. So hopefully some of the drivers that were involved, unfortunately, in an incident in race 1, get a second shot at another attempt. So the track is warmer now. Obviously, for all you cheeky drivers watching the stream, the track is a lot warmer now. It's now 29 degrees rather than the 19 before. So obviously pressures may have to be adjusted, tweaked ever so slightly. But obviously, hopefully some of the boys that were involved in the incident do get a second shot. They do restart to the places they qualified in and not the places they finished in race 1. So don't go anywhere, guys. Grab a drink, grab some snacks. Race 2, let's get it.
Absolutely. And if you ever wanted to get involved in FRL's Wonderful Racing, drop a message in the YouTube chat and an admin will reach out to you to send you a link to the Discord for you to get involved. Not just in ACC, but Assetto Corsa, iRacing, GT7, Formula 1, WRC. If it has 4 wheels and races online, FRL has got you covered. And if you really, really want to get involved, there's a Patreon you can also sign up for, starting with just £3 a month for special access to race numbers, to early access to championships, and all lots of other lovely things as well. I believe there's a few extra packages you can get if you really, really want to get involved. But that's seemingly behind lock and key to find out what that is. We're not that special, are we, Retro? We don't find that out.
No, of course not.
All we know is we need your help and support. We are your commentators. We need to be able to afford the helicopter fuel that's sometimes needed for these tracks. Last week you did get helicopter fuel for Donington as we followed the action around there. If you want to see more from the helicopter, do sign up for the Patreon.
Exactly, that's all it's for. It's not for you guys, it's so Greg can fire the helicopter up to get you all the juicy action for the stream. That's all it's for.
Absolutely.
20 seconds.
So as we count down 20 seconds, the last few adjustments are being made, and it's the last time the driver will get to touch anything on their setup unless they elect to go into the pits, which they do not have to do. It'll be seen as a deficit incurred if they do have to enter the pits for any reason during the 40 minutes. It is not mandatory. You do not need to take fuel. You do not need to take tyres. You are free to give it hell for leather from lap 1 to the end of the 40 minutes. We are going to do the formation lap once again. Smollett drags them away, all very reluctantly, I'm sure. They're ready and raring to go. Nothing kills the nerves quite like planting your foot.
Well, hopefully the tyres are warm enough to keep the car facing forward when you plant that foot on a formation lap, because obviously if you damage the car on a formation lap, you're going to have to repair it.
Absolutely. Obviously during the formation laps you can't damage your car on other cars, but if you so happen to want to take a trip to Monsieur Barrière, it will very much mess your car up. But no charge whatsoever, it seems. It's there ready waiting for you, so loyal service. Just like us, your loyal service of commentators here every single Sunday in FRL's Super Sprint Sunday.
Dedicated, hard-working team, you know, we're here rather than watching the other boring sport, I mean exciting sport called F1, but we're here commentating for you guys.
Yeah. So all you guys taking part that maybe are involved, do like watch the Formula 1, well you're here to make sure you've got not just one race, but 2 races to watch. You can bob into work, sit behind your work PC, get absolutely nothing done during that day whilst you watch the replay of FRL first. Let's be clear, you watch FRL stream first, and then maybe
priorities.
You can priorities, of course, and then you can wander over and watch that in your own free time, not FRL's time. It's far more valuable. If you really want to get involved in Formula 1, join the FRL server where you can race Formula 1. So Moller trying to learn from the mistakes that he made last time. Oh look, there's our helicopter. So as they get instructed to go into double file. We are getting ready to launch a few tens of thousands of horsepower over the start finish line to navigate all 16 tricky corners of this track. So silence falls on the racetrack. People just lower their revs, and we're going to get as green as Bonham as Moller overtakes the line.
We're just waiting for the final few cars to come around the final corner.
And we are
Green light.
green, baby. Go, go, go. Off goes Moller. We've got cars moving in the background looking for early moves. Looks like Moller has got a bit more of a challenge from Bonham this time round. It looks like Mr. Overtaker is going to try and make the same move he did last time, but can't make it once again.
Oh, we got Gedman going towards the wall there. He was just spun round by another driver and then punted in the middle of turn 2, as unfortunately he had no control over that.
Oh, Mr. Overtaker so much more interested in Bonham than he was in the last race. Bonham has definitely dropped back a lot more from Moller, and now Mr. Overtaker really sizing up Bonham. So I think Moller's maybe thought, do you know how I won last week's races? By disappearing into the distance, so maybe he's really putting the hammer down this time around. As we already have cars in the pits of Fitterer and Cablo. Moller not quite getting the gap he wants, but a necessary gap initially. As we finish the first lap, we might be able to return down the timing screen to see the battles that are going on.
Oh, we got Grace on the grass on the inside into Crocodile. Fends off Prentice. Great defending there. Prentice on the rear bumper of that Porsche there.
Make sure you're getting bitten by the cheetah. Oh, Prentice looking to go round the outside. Will this aid his line?
Oh, got Jabinho over the track there, nearly just about going destined for the wall. We've got Heyman's just now coming up on the inside now.
As the kink happens, they just lose a little bit of ground as they come into Crowthorne. Heyman's gets the inside line, runs Jabinho out. Jabinho might be able to come back on the inside, can't achieve it, doesn't get himself back alongside. Through goes Heyman's. And G Brown, I can see eyeing up Serpentine.
Ooh, who was that? Heyman's out of the barbecue, facing backwards after a great move on Jabinho there. Unfortunately, cooked himself too much.
Just about managed to make that rejoin safely.
Quite a few cars in the pits down at the bottom. Korkamalakis, Richins, Colpitts, Kravek all in the pits. Fitterer as well, not that it's showing a pit stop sign. So maybe we missed some juicy action on that one there.
So Bonham showing incentive and keeping the gap that he had for the last race back on Muller. Now he's got double the work to do to achieve the same pressure that he did last time round. But if he can double the pressure, will Muller make double the mistakes? It's that Mr. Overtaker really pushing on now. Got Clayton in the Aston Martin.
Very interested in Naisbitt there.
Oh, I think he actually got a bit backed up by Naisbitt on the exit of the corner, so that might cost him down the straight.
You've got Eden just behind as well.
So I think Clayton would dying for a move here. Just show his nose to the inside, backs out of it.
Naisbitt does run a bit deep, allowing Clayton to get a bit closer than what he was.
Naisbitt does just run back across him. And the other Aston Martin behind Eden also closed in quickly on Eden through those corners. Clayton looks again.
Eden's a McLaren.
My bad.
Harvey's an Aston Martin. Oh, speaking of Aston Martin, oh, speaking of two, commentators curse there. Wow. Eden loses out 2 places there. He's now got Grace. Oh, bit of contact there in the S's. Oh, Prentice is there as well. That says thank you very much.
So he's still there on the inside.
G Brown also joined this train.
We're waiting for the cameras to catch up. Oh, I think there was a little touch in the Crocodile there from Eden on Prentice, and that's backed him up into Grace through Cheetah. I think Grace has compromised his entry there into the final corner. This invites Serpentine and Brown onto the back of him. Brown with the Bentley tank for all the power in the world. He's just got to get it moving. Doesn't feel comfortable on the brakes since the first turn. We saw that in the last round. Oh, was it in the back there? That was the BMW. The Nissan just lost a bit of time going through Crowthorne. Back up to Clayton, that's about a 10th behind Naisbitt. Just need to clear a bit of track and a good exit, and I think he's got this one on Naisbitt. Through the S as they go. We can keep this gap. It might be well worth a dive into Leicop. Channel my inner spa there. Almost said Lecum.
Yeah, wrong climate for that track, buddy.
Wrong climate, wrong hemisphere. Different kind of corner and everything. Oh, but look how close Naismith is basically pushing Naismith along. Clayton goes to the outside, forces him to a tight line. Can he get the cut back? Oh, he ends up taking too much curb. This invites Brown into the mix. Harvey even, sorry. Aston on Aston.
Where was you looking?
I don't know. I saw the colour combination and I thought, oh.
So Clayton does run wide once again. The Aston Martin struggling on the exit of that corner. See quite a few Aston Martins diving across the exit there.
He's definitely closing in on the straights, but not quite making up the distance as they go down.
We get the snap there. Clayton does well to not hit him, but unfortunately doesn't gain out of his mistake though.
Noticed up ahead, the gap is being built by Moller now, higher than it ever was in the 20-minute sprint. 1.3 seconds is that gap. This battle goes on. The two Aston Martins pressuring Naismith in the McLaren. And they are starting.
Pressure. Look how close G Brown is to Serpentine. And so you've got M Grace and Eden just in front. This big train from Naismith now forming.
Not sure how much longer Clayton. He's having to drive perfectly to keep this going. Acing every exit to keep this Aston behind. He goes wide to the right, defends to the inside, coming into Crocodile. And Clayton audaciously goes round the outside. And then gets the space in the exit. If he's going to be on the outside for Cheetah. Clayton does push him wide, a lot of berth to the curb. And it looks like Clayton's going to get the inside for the final turn. Naismith is still there and ends up falling behind.
Oh, just behind Harvey. Harvey and Prentice.
Oh, and then that's also tapped the Ferrari of Serfontaine, I believe. Not Serfontaine. Prentice, yeah. He just speared Prentice in the side. So that's taken a bit of pressure off these leaders for P5. So yeah, Naismith's still very close. But now he's not got the other Aston Martin chasing down. What can he do? Can he scurry away and just follow Clayton up to the next pack of cars? We've got Mornweg closing up on Grafe. So Nissan and Audi keeping Mornweg and the McLaren behind. The Audi looking a bit of a handful. Through the S's. Will we see a... Oh, it's... Mornweg up the outside. Coming into the hairpin. Gets edged out under the braking. Will try and come back down towards the mineshaft and crocodiles. Imagine anything more terrifying than a crocodile down a mineshaft.
Suppose you've had better days at the office. And speaking of better days, Eden is still hanging on to the back of Naismith.
He's gone a bit deep.
Battle of McLarens there.
Just like Clayton's doing a good job to leave Naismith behind. Oh, Eden so close entering.
Close there, buddy. You've got the slipstream of Grave just behind. P14's going to send a move there. Prentice does bravely defend the inside there. Does compromise himself.
Oh, as the GTR sends one down the inside into Barbecue. What a move! It just came out of absolutely nowhere.
And so now the Audi's got to compose himself. Mornweg is there now on the outside.
It very much looks like Prentice was the cork in the bottle at the end of the clubhouse. looks like Mornweg has declined the entry for Prentice, and through he goes into the S's and towards the hairpin. Can he hold it together with the speed that he's picked up? Only one way to find out. How good's your left foot? And does hold it off, and holds it off well. Picking up Eden on Naisbit.
Is still behind Serpentine, as you just mentioned.
Oh, sorry, Retro. We've got Grace coming towards Cheetah, basically pushing Eden along. And the Porsche looks to move down the inside into the final turn. Going to try and plant his exit now. He gets the best exit out of the three against the two ahead of him. Grace snaking to follow. Eden, he's super close, he's in the slipstream. Here goes the move, he moves to the inside, gets on the brakes, straight lines it to the apex. He's chosen quite a tight line, gets his rear across the nose of Eden and gets away. Fantastic driving. But just picks up the battle you were mentioning, Retro. G Brown trying to pick up Serpentine.
As I looked at the timing screen, I could see it, and I just saw the battle with Grace just in front of it. You clocked it before I mentioned it, so. We've got Harvey on Prentice just behind that. The battle for P11 a bit closer as well. If Prentice keeps his pace up, he'll be knocking on Brown's doors.
So we've gone forward to Eden. The Naisbit doing a great job in the corner. He has held on to this position since Clayton took it from him. He's only lost one position so far despite immense pressure. Round we go towards Cheetah. Grace is going to hope to make the same move as he did last time. Get the traction out of Yngwie and just wait for the slipstream to come. He does go a little deep, but so does Naisbit. And it looks like he's already having to pull alongside. Oh, don't know, he's out the slipstream. He just got hit by a wall of air.
Naisbit now does defend the inside. He's now got to work round hard down the outside. Naisbit goes deep. Oh, Eden looks for a sniff at a move there.
Yeah, almost made it three wide. Thinks better of it. Grace goes wide to try and get it, and then Eden down the inside. Oh, he gets a snap and then finds himself towards the wall. And Serpentine is going to say thank you very much. Goes down the inside for Sunset.
Brown now capitalising with all this moving around.
But Eden's moving back against him. No, you're right, Brown has seen the suffering Eden. But so far from Brown, he's not seemed too happy on his brakes with the moves, but I've just seen further ahead. Naisbit under huge pressure. Grace is piling and piling and piling it on. Now I don't think this is where Grace wants it. He's putting the pressure on, but I think he's just dummying moves at this point. Just trying to put Naisbit off. I think his best opportunity is where he took the position earlier on. Yeah, very composed from Grace. Make sure not to run into the Sky McLaren. Oh, he gets a snap on the exit. There. How much difference will it make? He does. He loses a tenth or two. Further back, just picking up G Brown. And his advancements on Eden. Breaks in a straight line, doesn't attempt to move. He's going to need to find some confidence, Brown, if he's going to make this race worthwhile. Mornweg chasing down Prentice, who's further back. That battle's been going on quite a while. We've got Thacker trying to get past Coppens down in P21. Coppens, who looks massively battered and bruised in that BMW. It looks like he's still holding on to a bit of the straight line speed that BMW is famous for. Looks like Bonham has done a bit of work. Oh, and looks like Thackett just gets past Coppens, who loses it on the exit, turn 2. Back to this enthralling battle for P6. Grace just not giving up. It's very seldom that Grace is dropping outside of that half a second. It puts so much strain on Naisbitt, but this time Grace has got inside line, but she's going to come from the outside line for the next turn. He is side by side. Naisbitt gives him the space, and Grace is going to break deep down the outside. He straightens his car up, doesn't get the move done that time. Great defence from Naisbitt. Oh, as Grace takes a trip into the gravel. Serpentine likes the look of that. With dirty tyres, let me clean that up for you. He's not passed yet. Serpentine is going to get a better drive out of here.
Oh, just slightly behind, we've got G Brown using that Bentley power on Eden. He's now got the inside.
You guys got anywhere to slot into?
Oof, big lock up there to avoid Serpentine in front. Eden capitalises on that and says thank you very much. Takes his place back.
He owns Serpentine the beer for that. He's still coming. Yeah, the lack of confidence in the brakes for G Brown really telling. If Harvey can get alongside him, dare to say he'll be as ineffective in attempting to pass as he has been in defend, as he will potentially be in defending, if he continues to not have the confidence in the brakes. But back to this battle that's been all enthralling. Well, actually, no, behind. Eden on Serpentine, very close as well. Grayson Naisbitt goes again. 2 points of attack this lap have been the two long, fast sections. But Naisbitt continually sending Grace to the outside. But then doesn't look like Naisbitt got the best exit there, but there's very little he can do in cheat unless the move's already pre-established.
Oh, we did just miss Harvey, made a move on Brown there in Crocodile. Gets a great little shut door move into Cheetah there.
Oh, sorry, but Grace has already got alongside Naisbitt here, but he is on the outside crucially. But this is as close as he's got down the pit straight. Naisbitt does draw ahead with straight line speed. Grace attempts to break deep and round the outside. Naisbitt runs him out, but then Grace gets a great drive and he's finally got that one done. Well done, great persistence. But Naisbitt does come back again.
Slightly. So G Brown lost out on the last lap in the cheetah section, but I think the Bentley grunt gets him back past Harvey. So the timing screen's not updated, but now it just has. G Brown is back in front of Harvey.
And we've got Prentice
all over the back of the Aston Martin now.
Can he go round the clubhouse?
All the Aston Martin getting a bit of a bump on the curb there.
Doesn't seem to unsettle him greatly. We go back to Naisbitt though. So many battles going on. Oh, as we have a big crash, Serpentine's been punted into the wall. And that is by Eden. Might have to review that one afterwards. As we go past the halfway stage, Serpentine is going to have to carry on with a wounded car. Such a shame, he was driving a great race. It looks like, yeah, he's struggling with steering now. What a shame. We've got Prentice closing on Harvey. He's tap one. He's gonna get penalties.
Unfortunately, just watching that back, Eden did give Serpentine a little bit of a touch there in the right rear, which unfortunately sent the car just straight towards the wall, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame. See, racing things happen. Blame may be dished out after the race, but for now we stick with the action. Now Clayton, who scored off a while ago, has now got Sharp chasing him. Or is Clayton past Sharp early on, or just see Sharp go over over the red and white. Well, Clayton has moved up, and that's a place he's recently gained, so well done to him. And Bonham, unfortunately this time, not been able to keep the same distance to Muller as he did last time. Now go back down the grid to P14 and 13. Mornweg is chasing down the other Prentice. The gap is just under 3/10, and they're still pushing on in different variations of Hubba Bubba. Will there be a move into the hairpin? There's some desperate ones so far that have caused some incidents. Nothing doing from that here.
Eden still trying to chase down Naisbit there. G Brown also in the train. It's a big train, so from Grace just a little bit back, Naisbit, Eden, Brown, Harvey, Prentice, Graves just a little bit behind, so nothing to worry about or to be threatened by, but so he is catching ever so slightly. Just watching the grid there on the timing, so 17 minutes 20 seconds left of this session, so quite a nice few battles forming. I think Bonham is slightly catching Moller. That is the closest time I've seen him for a little while. 1.3 seconds. It was up to 2.5.
Oh, he's done well with that last lap. It was 1.7 at the start of last lap, so he's really done well to bring that down.
Moller does have the fastest lap with a 141.1.
So, Retro, I am just currently watching Mornweg chasing down Jay Prentice. He's kept this gap very tight for quite a few laps. It's P13 and 14. But it doesn't look like Mornweg quite has the grunt to get alongside Prentice on the exits. But does seem to be tackling the bends faster than Prentice. Just seems to have dropped a little bit of that lap, but look how close he is coming towards the hairpin this time round. He's alongside, but he is on the outside. Can he round the bend? Does Prentice drive him out? No, just give him the space. Mornweg can't get alongside him on the exit, but will he snap back into Crocodile? Prentice does defend heavily. Mornweg tries a tight inside line. The corner does not reward him. Down towards the final turn. Both navigating Cheetah well.
I think Bonham is catching. It's now 1.1.
It will of course bring you that action when he gets a little closer. Giving this battle its due. Mornweg still not quite confident enough to throw one. The move at the hairpin was the closest he's got in quite a while. Always but gets a snap out of the first turn.
So Eden
and G Brown
his lips.
has got the Aston Martin of Harvey up his inside. As they go around Clubhouse, they're still side by side.
Prentice is there as well. Look at Prentice.
And Prentice, I'm not sure if you saw him there. And Prentice comes back through, he cuts to the inside. Brown's boxed in behind the Aston. I think he's going to get this one. Brown's going to attempt to make it 3 wide. He gets edged out, but he's going to regain the inside line. And then Prentice tries to round the outside of the Aston Martin, but gets pushed out again. Now he's the one boxed in by the Aston Martin. And now Brown is clear to go through. And Brown goes to the outside. Prentice just pushes him out.
But Brown does keep him facing the right way with a tap back.
And into Cheetah. Much brave. Oh, as he gets one hell of a snap, but regains it. His pants will be just like his name.
So Grace is also catching this battle as well. Bonham is now just over a second. Nice little battle. Grace has caught up to Sharp now for P5.
So yeah, been released. Grace just needs to get past Naisbit, and he was released. Just showed the fantastic work that Naisbit was doing to keep the drivers that he was but in front of behind. Clayton, he held up for quite a while. Grace, he held up for quite a while. Now look at the progress they're making. Crucial corners through the S's as they come towards the hairpin. And Grace, have we seen this move before? Up the outside. Great traction. Can he get across Sharp? Yes, he can. Done way before the corner entry. So that's Grace. One more place up to 5th. Oh, but he does get one big snap. What does Sharp think of that? Just hasn't got the drive to get Grace back. And a bit further back, Eden, the next contender to take on the defence of Naisbit, proven troublesome so far this race. Absolutely ragging it for all it's worth as he goes around Cheetah, kicking up dirt. Further back, I've noticed G Brown in his European muscle car. Oh, and then behind that we've got Prentice getting overtaken by Grafe. Grafe dives down the inside, but can he hold the line? I think they touch. Oh, they're so tight coming towards Barbecue. Try not to get toasted.
Prentice with a great drive there.
Oh, Naisbit coming back at Sharp. The Sharp losing lots of pace since he got overtaken by Grace. Oh, as Eden just dives it to the inside through the S's. What a move! Can he get 2 and 1? Yes, he does. Wow! What a move! But then Naisbit throws his nose up the inside. And Naisbit regains that position.
Great drive there from Naisbit.
Now it's even steep. Oh, as Naisbit just cuts across him, retakes the line. Eden back to the outside. Naisbit's defended this corner oh so well. Into the crocodile. No snap from Eden. Naisbit closes off the line, goes into Cheetah, kicks up a little bit of dirt, and then back to composed driving. Brilliant racing. Oh, but then Eden gets a snap behind Naisbit, loses a lot of ground, and that has allowed Sharp almost alongside him, but then just tucks up in behind him. What will this mean for the drive that Eden's got now? Sharp really pushing on into him. But further back, Grace still liking the look of the back of Prentice. Now Retro, in our ignorance, we've missed that now Bonham is within 7 tenths.
I was just about to say, just flicking through the pack, checking all the timings, and say this battle for, say, the top 10 that we've been watching, or the top couple of places, and say Bonham is now 6 tenths, nearly 7 tenths behind Moller now. This is where the pressure is going to start mounting to Moller.
So he's like, oh no. He would just be sat in his little purple car going, oh, not this again, as car 4.
Mornweg, drive-through penalty.
Oh, for track limits of all things. They're this far into the race. But now, as we come towards the finish line, what will the gap be now? It's filling up Moller's mirrors. Has increased to over 7 tenths now, but I don't think Bonham will be too concerned about that. Still more than close enough to mount a challenge. We go back to Eden, who still wants a piece out of Naisbit. Then we've got Brown side by side with Grafe as they go around Cheetah, still side by side into the final turn. Brown defends the inside, gives the space to the outside. It's a little bit of a snap as he gets on the power. What does this mean for Grafe? Prentice is checked out ahead of them. But how much grunt do these two cars have? There's not often you see the Bentley get out dragged, but they're even Stevens. Brown's going to have the inside line, goes deep on the brake, runs.
Great
Grafe.
drive from Grafe there around the outside.
Brown not letting this one go. I don't know, what a debut for me. I've not seen the Nissan driving on any racing that I've done, and it's showing a very well controllable car. But Brown's also showing great mastery of his Bentley. The big barge needs an oarsman to get that thing round. Bonham
is still catching Moller.
But no, he's just thinking, can I pull the same trick twice? Is pressure enough? I think he wants to be a bit close in the 7/10 to really put that pressure on. As Eden has just backed a little bit off Naisbitt. I think Brown just starting to lose out to Grafe there, who's just starting to settle in his newfound 10th position. And Mornweg, who was sat third in his class, is going to lose that more than likely once he serves his drive-through. Ian does seem to come back under braking against Naisbitt. G-bound still not quite in touching distance. The latter stages of the racing, they're starting to get more stretched than they could have possibly have been in the 20-minute sprint.
I think Moller has found some extra go in the tank. He's now increased that gap back up to a second from Bonham there.
Yeah, crucial laps for Moller. He doesn't want to succumb to the pressure once again. He's going to want that cushion. Eden really putting the pressure on Naisbitt. Naisbitt is super cool. This race, he thinks sky is the limit. As it goes to Crocodile though, Naisbitt all race long doing a fantastic job to defend the inside of that corner every single time. The inside defence has proved crucial. As Eden goes over the gravel.
G. Brown still hanging on to Grafe. Battle of the big cars there.
And the big barge chasing down Grafe. He's really struggling to break that half-second barrier that he really needs to be in if he's going to throw a move or put pressure on. Bonham's on a bit more pace, he's back down to 7/10. But as the leaders now starting to come across a little bit of traffic, what will this mean for the navigation of these two cars? So Moller, the first one to come to car 78. And that is of Fitterer. He'll be hoping that he just pushes onto the pit straight and lets him through now. No sign of moving yet from Fitterer. Now Bonham will just be thinking, this is just distracting enough for Moller for me to maybe gain a few tenths as Fitterer does finally move out of the way. Oh no, that was a different car, I believe it's just come out the pits. Fitterer is still in play. There's a strange dynamic here, obviously in online racing with such large grids. Especially in races where you can pit. You often can come out a lap behind the people you are in fact racing. Blue flags are being thrown.
Ooh, who was that? Just saw a Mustang across Mornweg. Mr. Oversteer get caught
Oh
by
my
a
god,
lapped
yeah,
car.
Mornweg has had his front absolutely destroyed. Mr. Overtaker does manage to carry on, but Mornweg is in definitely worse for wear now.
I think these lapped cars are adding to the battle between Moller and Bonham, trying to navigate some of this traffic as this 40-minute race comes to the final 3 minutes.
So it does look that they have dispatched Fitter. Yet there he is in the background. Oh, as Moller goes a little bit deep out of Cheetah. It does look like Bonham once again is pushing Moller to give absolutely everything for this win. We've gone back to Eden, who's still engaged in this battle of Naisbitt. Naisbitt, who's probably had the most stout defence of all the drivers today. Obviously he's let a few drivers through, but the ones he has let through have made big impacts on the race. Eden, I think, needs to be a bit closer than half a second. Not too many battles going on further down the grid. At 40 minutes and no pit stops. The race is quite sparse. Bonham needs the best final couple of laps of his life if he wants to make this a double win in Super Sprint Sunday. He just wants to be composed in the areas that are sensitive to mistakes.
The same sort of gap as what it was last race. So it's interesting to know you can use that much runoff without getting a track limit.
Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
But here we go. This is where it all kicked off in race one. Bonham chasing down Moller with a reasonably close gap, but big enough just for Moller to not be too concerned if he keeps his car on the straight and narrow, unlike last race where he span it and lost a few positions at the end. Gap is down to 0.6 of a second. Needs to be closed out. There is a bit of traffic ahead. Car 36.
5 tenths now.
It's car 36 of Coppens. So yeah, 5 tenths now. He's gone a little wide as Moller. Now, how late do both of them dare braking for the hairpin of Lukop?
And Bonham giving it absolutely everything to stay in Moller's slipstream.
So there's only really this corner and the final corner left for him to really make a reasonable dive. Yeah, he's way too far back here. He needs to ace this exit. But crucially, Moller does as well. Both navigate Cheetah very well. No move offered into the final turn. It's just a drag race now. Both get on the power well. And Moller, a fantastic win.
Leader has finished the race.
Rectified his mistake from the last round. Great battle from these two. Mr. Overtaker did seemingly cause an incident with the back marker. So it'll be interesting to see if he does in fact lose that. But for now, it's a podium. Clayton, who was stuck behind Naisbitt for a long time, pulls through, gets P4. Got M. Grace coming towards the line now, another one held up by Naisbitt, then pulled a big gap And Naisbitt is going to come home to win his tier, holding off Eden. We've got a battle coming in here. That's Grafe will hold off Brown. Grafe trying to push through forever to try and catch Naisbitt.
Oh, we've still got Prentice trying to chase down Sharp into the final corner. Prentice has got the inside. Oh, they contact.
Both still drives the line. Don't think either of them think they're at fault there. It's going to be awfully close.
Sharp does get the timing line first. Oh, and spins him round.
Oh dear. Not what we like to see. Townsend being chased by Filomeno to the line. Townsend gets that one. Gedman with his Bentley shows his appreciation to his wall. Townsend with the AM win. Well done to him. Thacker comes home to finish P2, seeing off Coppens, who I believe may have finished higher without incident with Mr. Overtaker, and all the others finish a lap down. So there you have it, everybody. We're going to try once again to try and bring in the winners of each tier. See if we can just message them to come and join the chat. So we're just going to see if we can get anybody in the chat. So we are getting a few people added in. Just got someone added to the commentary booth. So Naisbitt won't be joining us. He's had a pizza arrive.
I mean, that is a man after my own heart.
So we're just waiting for those who have been invited to come online. Oh, hopefully we can get a rundown. If not, for those of the admins that listen, we're more than happy to speak to an admin and their reflection of the race.
Green light, give it all you can.
We're on comms box. No. Oh, so Retro, we just need to move over.
Ah, okay, so bear with us, people. Just
Yeah, we're just moving over so we can get the interviews in. Thank you for your patience, everybody. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Do stick around, please. If not, obviously we'll see you on the replay.
So for anyone interested, say next week we are back on British soil for attending Snetterton. It is a 80-minute special next week for Snetterton, so don't go anywhere, folks. Next week, Snetterton, just whilst we do wait for some people to get in the party,
we have
and
one.
we can have a interview.
Is
Mr. Gedman, our safety instructor, wall inspector.
Very good. I'm actually just having a quick look at who took me out at the start of race 2, but other than that, that was a fantastically clean, quite a good race for most in race 1 and race 2, I think, if you think about it.
I think I did miss it. I can't remember if it was race 1 or race 2. I think there was a good handful, 5 or 6 drivers in the pits on the end of lap 1.
Yes.
So I think some of you stewards are going to be busy after that one. We saw Serpentine and Eden have it out in the hairpin. Obviously, unfortunately, Serpentine found his way into the wall that you didn't inspect. So I'm sure he might have a safety violation coming your way.
Well, on my part, I had to nip away and do a few bits today and ended up in hospital. Not in a bad way, just I couldn't do qualifying, so I started from the back this evening in both races. Not without, not that I wanted to, but it's turned out to be quite an interesting race. I think the first race, can't remember where I finished, definitely finished third in class. The second race, because we had who got our drive-through just at the end there?
I think it was
Mornaweg.
Mornweg, yeah,
Mornweg,
car
yeah.
442 right
If you
at
were
the end.
listening to my stream, you would have heard me screaming like a girl with total and utter glee.
I believe we've just been joined with that. Is that Bonham, the tag there that's
Yes,
just
sir.
joined? Oh well, congratulations on your race 1 win, and obviously well fought to come home in second in your race 2. How did you feel?
Thank you. Felt pretty good. I think I had similar pace to Moeller both races. I struggled a little bit in the second one early on, but yeah, pace was good. I think it was whoever got in front. It was going to be tough for the person following to get around him. And I was fortunate the first race that he got into the grass a little bit and caused himself some trouble. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have got around him.
No, I mean you were putting immense pressure on him at the end of both races. It was glorious to behold. I mean, how zeroed in were you just on Lackman? Were there moments where you did just feel like sitting back, or did you very much feel you wanted to be on him throughout?
Early on in both races, like the first 10 minutes probably the first one, and then I don't know, maybe 20-25 minutes of the second one, I wanted to stay within ideally like a second and a half of him. And he got a little bit further out for me the second race than I wanted him to, but my goal was to keep him basically within a second and a half. Don't abuse my tires, and hopefully put enough pressure on him so he can make a mistake, or if I got a good run at some point, I try to make a move on him. But yeah, that was kind of my goal, just to keep him close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of tyres, did you know much difference between the tyre temperatures and the track temperature as well? Because we noticed it jumped about 20 degrees nearly, or 15 degrees in the race 1 and race 2. Did you notice that in the car at all?
No, not. I mean, my pressures and my tire temps were pretty good both races. I had them pretty much spot on for what the temps were, so that was fine. Yeah, I really didn't have any real tire struggles, so they held up pretty well.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, it definitely showed that you had the performance to keep pushing on him. But yeah, you guys kind of had a bit of a lonely race out the front. Once you sort of detached yourself from the pack. I mean, Mr. Overtaker did show his nose in both starts, but you saw
Yes, he
him
did.
off. You saw him off fairly well. I mean, how concerned were you of him in the early stages?
First couple corners of the opening lap, both times I was pretty concerned. It's my first time racing with him, so I didn't really know what to expect. He was very clean though; we had no issues. Especially the second race, we were more side by side through turns 2 and 3. I think it was through 2 and 3. Then I was able to get in front of him. But no, he was fine. But at the very beginning, starting on the outside, it does tend to kind of leave you exposed to the third place driver right there. So. I was just happy to get away without contact, secure my position and try to get after Moeller.
I think especially as well, being on that outside for essentially what they call turn 1, the kink, and then the actual hairpin is actually turn 2. Being on the outside and where it kinks round to the right does make you so much more exposed, because being on the inside you could just tank it rather than drift across.
Definitely. And you have to be mindful too when you're on the outside, because I want to try to hug it as close as I can, but you got the car next to you on the inside. It makes it kind of dodgy. So qualifying was paramount. I needed to find the extra tenth or two to get in front of Moeller. If I really wanted to have a chance to win both races, I needed to take pole, I think. But and I was up on a couple of my quali laps, but just made silly mistakes in the dark and kind of binned them. But I did the best I could, and I'm pretty pleased with the result.
Yeah, because we did see you set a mighty lap in practice. I didn't manage to get back to see if you did manage to beat that in the qualifying. Would you like to reflect on that?
No, I didn't. I think my practice lap, I want to say, was a 40.5, I want to say.
I would say it was a 40.5 or a 40.4, because I said the exact same when I saw it. I was like, are we sure we're in the right tier here? Or like commentating the right tier? Is there another god tier somewhere that we're missing?
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, that's about my personal best. I think my personal best was a 40.3 without any added weight. So with I think I had 12 or 14 kilos. So I'm very pleased with that time. I struggled in the dark though, as I tend to at Kyalami. It's one of those tracks where things will sneak up on you a little bit more in the dark than I think they do at other circuits. So that's kind of what caught me out. I think my quality time was 40.7, I want to say, right in there. So it didn't get to my practice time, but still not a bad lap. But Moeller put in a hell of a lap. So good on him.
I still love the fact of it's not a bad lap. They're still like 2 seconds quicker than me. Not a bad lap.
Well, the fastest lap on record, gentlemen, that we've got stated is by Vermeulen. That was a while back, and it was a 140.617.
Wow, so
that's not surprising. Vermeulen's lightning. He's incredibly quick. He's incredibly quick, so I'm not surprised by that at all. It's all relative, though, right? And I was fortunate. I put in a decent amount of practice between racing here Thursday and late night, and then I got in maybe maybe an hour and a half between Friday and yesterday. So I felt pretty confident coming in. Like I said, I wish I would have nailed my quali lap a little more, because Moeller's
just doesn't matter how much practice I put in whatsoever. I can only get 42.2, 42.5 is about my best. I don't think, or maybe a high 41, because I'm still trying to get used to this Bentley.
So yeah, just on that Bentley, I was commenting personally that it looked like you were very unconfident on the brakes, particularly into turn 1. Is that something that you could deny or confirm?
No, I'm getting far better. I used to drive the Bentley way back before 1.8 update, and it drove so different to what it does now. Now the car actually gives you... It basically awards you when you can work your brakes really well and throw the weight properly, so you need to get the balance far better. That's why I avoided the car, because with the Porsche, my tennis ball Porsche that you used to call, which used to crack me up, I could throw that thing about like a wet sock. It was fine.
I mean, speaking of throwing your weight around, you had some hair-raising moments on the exit of the Cheetah curve a couple of times. We saw you getting a bit squeamish.
Yeah, but I'm carrying damage because I was taken out right at the start of race 2.
Yeah. I think we vaguely caught it in the back of shots at the start. We just saw a car just flash sideways.
It's one of those things, you're on the straight, two cars meet together, I was put onto the grass, and you're driving a car that weighs just short of 2 tons.
You think that might be crucially down to the kink that leads after the start? Maybe the cars aren't necessarily swaying to the right.
I think it's just the road dips, it does kink slightly, so guys maybe, I don't know, they don't follow the road and they just stay straight, and that can cause cars to cross over ever so slightly. And a
I
GT3
think you got
car,
quite lucky as well, because by the time the Bentley had done Bentley things and become the Titanic, it was destined for turn 2. No matter who says anything, but you was lucky to not take any one.
I think I clipped a couple, but they drove away.
Yeah, like not take any actual victims. I think you got like a few scrapes and bruises and nothing a bit of TLC and cable ties all fixed, but you didn't have any. Yeah,
Spray
exactly.
paint and a bit of makeup.
Exactly. Anything goes in ACC, but you did very well to not take anyone else out.
Right,
I
will not take any more Bentley slander. I've been sitting here in the background, quietly minding my business.
I will say for how important qualifying is, though, just if you go back to last week at Donington, which is my worst track by a wide margin. Right, I am well off the pace there for compared relative to the rest of the circuits, my paces. But I think I qualified 9th, and both races I didn't make it halfway through the lap before I got just obliterated with 20-30 seconds worth of damage. Both races. So, I mean, qualifying is so important for that reason, just so you can get out in front and ideally, avoid that. And if I'm going to get in an accident, lap 1 from the front row, more than likely I caused it or the guy behind me did. But, yeah, that was a big difference between last week and this week, is just starting a little further up and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, mentioning the importance of taking pole, we did see some absolutely stellar defensive performances. One as a real highlight was Naisbitt. While he did give up a few of those positions, we did see that he held up a whole bunch of cars for P5. I mean, how did you feel that? Did you, obviously, Bonham, maybe you were, obviously you only really had Moller to contend with, but the other guys, how did you feel being in the train behind Naisbitt?
Sorry, was that aimed at me? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I was moderating. Honestly, I don't know if you caught it in race 1. For the first ever time, I put a wonderful dummy on Naisbitt into the bottom of mine shaft. I will be posting it later on, just for his benefit again. But the rest of the race 2, I could see him, but there was a separate roadblock just in front of me called Surfing Time.
Well, he got adequately removed for you later on, didn't he?
He did. It was
Eden got the hard hat on, spoke to Gedman, got planning permission cleared, and put him straight in the wall. It was just a complete grey area that he hadn't checked that wall yet, so it was alright.
Just to be clear, I gave nobody the go ahead to take paint off of any of the walls here on track.
That is a spectacular metaphor.
It really is. It really is.
No, that was good. It was a good race to watch, to be honest. See Naisbitt defending like his life depended on it.
I mean, it just to show the job he was doing to the two guys that actually did manage to get through him, put 5 to 10 seconds worth of gap on him in the end. Just shows the pace that he was beating off.
Yeah,
I think it's also just added into it as well. Now this new season, obviously there's no tier restrictions. Obviously if a lower tier is in front of a faster driver, well, prove it, you're a faster driver. Now obviously there's no, you haven't got to lay down, let him go past. You got to prove all the bragging rights on track, which obviously for us commentators is fantastic.
Yeah, officially there was never any priority system previously either, but because the championships were split, people made
because obviously now they've got to consider the overall championship as well, which is now going to encourage drivers to fight tooth and nail to get that extra position, just to get those few extra points in both championships.
Exactly. The last 5 minutes of that race, Sam Grafe just drove clean around me in the
Yeah.
Nissan on pure horsepower. Like, and that's me in the Bentley.
Yeah, we
The
caught
Nissan
that, and I
is-
was so surprised. I've never seen anybody drive the Nissan before, let alone put a power
So-
move on a Bentley.
Yeah, so last season I would have just let him go, different tier, not my problem, but then I had to fight tooth and nail to try and get back alongside him. I think at one point we were side by side through Cheetah. With us, I would never have done that with a driver in a different tier in any other season, and that's really what we're trying to bring alive with having this overall championship. We'll get to see, the top end of each tier battle with the, let's say, less skilled members of the other tier. It really just have exciting races, it really does, and it'll change track to track as well, because as I think John said, people have different paces relative to themselves.
I'm just
I
slow on
think
every
we
track,
did catch
so
it for a
what we
few
do
little
on
laps as well. I think there was through the S's, I think midway through the race, I think it was like Harvey and the other Aston Martin and the Bentley just sandwiched in the middle, like, hang on a minute, I'm a Bentley, move out my way. No, I'm not going to move. And it was a great laps to watch. Just you being boxed in one corner, then the other Aston Martin being boxed in the other corner. It was fantastic.
So I'm going to put the admins on the spot here. I'm going to ask Mr. Overtaker. Obviously, we saw him competing underneath the AM
We've
banner
already
this
discussed
week.
this to answer your question. We've already
I'll take
discussed
this. I'll take this one.
Okay. I think we used the word sandbag and move, I think, was in the conversation, so
Industrial
Who said
size.
that?
industrial size sandbag and move.
So can we get can we get an answer?
Sometimes-
What tier will he be racing under next week?
His own super tier higher than John.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
He's
I
quick.
mean, it just slipped the net, to be honest. It's one of these things. His actual hot stint put him as a Pro-Am license.
It didn't, because I've just looked at it and it's me that's made the mistake. I've just said this
Not
live
whilst we're on the
stream.
air.
Live on stream, I have made a massive mistake. His times are frightening. And I've
You
just
realise, viewers, that's why you sign up to the Patreon, so we don't make mistakes and get computers to do it all for us.
Just for Darren Townsend's benefit, he'll be an AM.
So Darren, if you're watching,
I know he's watching. I know he's
Right.
watching.
Whilst
That's
he's
the best
tucking into
part.
his pizza.
Right. Anyway, before the admin any more mistakes, it will incriminate ourselves any further. I think we're going to look to wrap this one up. So I think we're going to finish off with just nominating our drivers of the day from each tier. I think I'm for Pro tier going to nominate Bonham for the pressure that he provided, the racing and the consistency that he showed for the battle for the lead. For the silver tier, would you like to put one in, Retro?
Sorry, you've got a bit of a cold there, mate. No, I think if I'm correct, I think Naisbit silver.
Yeah.
100% Naisbit. He defended like an absolute animal.
Yeah. Back-to-back submissions for Naisbit for driver of the day.
Nate's just not been watching you guys just now, just so you know, so feel free to say someone else.
And in the AM tier,
Although I think it's tough. I think for the AM tier there was some great drivers there that give it absolutely everything. A couple of incidents here and there, but again, it's just so many good
I think I've got to
drivers.
go with Daz, to be fair, he's done really well. He's improved really well the last this season alone and just tail end of last season. And he's put
I
in
think,
some
to
good
be
times
fair though,
today
didn't we
and good
give
performances.
Daz it for Donington though?
we did.
So I don't want to feel like we're
Don't
picking
let
the
Chris-
same drivers.
But I also think Gabino was also well in the battle behind
I'll applaud that.
with G Brown and everybody else
He's only
behind
picking
Naismith
it
as well.
because it's his Lambo, buddy.
Right, okay, I'll let you choose between Gabino and Townsend then.
No,
Let's
it's
put them
fine.
both
Pick
up.
Jabinho.
We'll put them
No, it's
both
fine.
We can submit them both. Obviously, the drivers are going to vote on it in the end. So
Yeah, we'll put them both up.
yeah, we'll put them both up. There we go. We'll keep it at that. So there you have it. There are your submissions for Driver of the Day. Thank you all for joining in with us. Thanks for the guys for coming into the commentary box for the interview. And thank you. And we'll see you all again next week. Join us again from 8 o'clock for Sprint Sunday action. Goodbye, guys.
Yeah, good night, guys.